She gonna love you and nurture you when you need it. She gonna kick your ass when you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. And she gonna push you to go get that bag when it's time to get that money. This is the mama that all children in the world need a mama. Momma Dee is a real one. You know, one thing about her, people say what they want to say about Momma Dee, but Momma Dee ain't really no style picker. Momma Dee really goes for. You know what your problem is? I ain't got no problem. Beat your ass. You had a million times to do it.
Atlanta, which had become the epicenter of hip-hop, was bathed in a golden glow as the sun set over its streets. But beneath the bright lights and the ever-vigilant cameras of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, something very personal was happening. He was still euphoric from the release of his diss track against Lil Scrappy, and in the midst of the storm, his uncontrollable feud with Scrappy suddenly put the streets and social media at risk. As Chaos pulled up to a modest restaurant on a calm afternoon, he stepped out of his car with his typical swagger, muted by the tension that had been developing around him. A visit from someone who had been Scrappy's mother figure for as long as he could remember was unexpected, but he was prepared for whatever the future held. Even though Momma Dee was imposing herself outside the restaurant, she was wearing a serious attitude that the mother who had once been a staunch protector of her son was now standing in front of Khaotic in a way that was entirely unfamiliar to him, and Khaotic had never seen the queen of Atlanta hip-hop royalty before. Momma Dee wasn't there to argue, battle, or defend her child. She was there to make a plea. Being a man who never gave up, he had no plans to let the mother who had always supported her son down. Khaotic arched an eyebrow, unclear of the reason. His arms tensed at his sides, and he still bore the anger of their recent breakup. Tell him how he should feel, but Momma was asking for something much more difficult than a brawl. As she approached, Chaos noticed a change in her demeanor. Instead of the blazing, unrepentant rage he had witnessed on TV and on the streets, he noticed a rawness in her eyes, an almost paternal melancholy that caused him to pause and take a deep breath. Her voice was calm, but impassioned as she spoke. Even though I understand that things got out of control and that my son enjoys himself a lot, I'm here today to apologize on his behalf. I know how deeply this has affected you, and I damaged you. Having spent my entire life as a mother, I know that my child needs to make amends. Chaos as Momma Dee went on. The rage that had been building within him started to subside and be replaced by something else. I know you're not upset with me, Mama. His jaw tensed, his heart still raw from the diss track he dropped days earlier. His struggle was for respect and recognition that he had worked hard to get into the game. Dee's voice cracked a little as she spoke. Please pay attention to what my child has to say, even though I know you feel misled. Sometimes he is too haughty to listen to me, but I implore you to forgive him. He had never seen Momma Dee seem like more than a reality TV celebrity, but more like a mother begging for her son's rescue while gazing down at the ground. Kaz remained motionless as she spoke. The layers of hurt and arrogance that had accumulated between them were pierced by the weight and honesty of her comments. Khaotic could see the tears. Despite her tears, she wasn't pleading with him to simply forgive and forget what had happened. Rather, she was pleading with him to give Scrappy another shot at reconciliation and to allow them to move past the divide that had split their once bonding paths. Chaos inhaled deeply, the rage gradually fading. Something melted inside him, despite his need to maintain his dignity, because it was difficult to remain angry at someone who was so exposed and defenseless. Be prepared to release everything. He nodded slowly, but not just yet, as the occasion's weight hung heavily on his shoulders. For the first time, he recognized the human side of Momma Dee's appeal and the lady behind the TV character, a mother who loved her child and understood the price of pride. I can't promise anything, he added in a more composed manner, but I'll give it some thought. Momma Dee's eyes glistened as she thanked Scrappy in silence for his struggles, not for forgiveness, but for the opportunity to put things right. She responded, "You Khaotic, you have no idea what this means to me." After that, he started to leave, but something inside of him changed. Perhaps this was about understanding instead of only battling a battle.
Chaotic. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. We're not. But not. Because I can give a So let me tell you something. When a go with me and he feel like I'm not a good person, I feel the same way he is. So we on the same page.
No, but he does not feel that.
He just said it. He said, hey, if you feel like I'm not a good person in your life, then you need to stay like that and don't stand on it. And we don't stand on it.
No.
Let's stand on it.
No.
We don't stand on it.
No, he said not. He did not say that.
What I said was, if you feel like I'm a bad person to you, then
It's not about that right now. This is about you. How do you feel about him?
I never said I had a problem with him. No, this what he do. He say something crazy and he's like, oh, I ain't got no beef, I ain't got no love. Khaotic always trying to play a victim. He'll start, then he want to be like, I don't want no beef, man. If you got an issue, stand on it. If not, sit down and shut up. At the end of the day, like I said, bro, it don't even really matter. Still don't try to goddamn. He want everybody to be like, oh my God.
No, because we're so grown, we're making a difference of our own thoughts here.
I can watch the good. I'll be like, oh.
Okay, so wait.
You know what your problem is? I ain't got no problem. I'll beat your ass. You had a million times to do it. You doing TV, man? You a clown. You got a problem with me. Keep talking that boy.
His profession and family relationships, but nothing could have predicted the day when Scrappy's own behavior would dishonor him. It all began with an especially heated argument with Khaotic, a cast member known for his brash manner and tendency to stir up trouble. Had a minor altercation with Scrappy that swiftly escalated out of hand. A disagreement quickly turned into a full-fledged altercation as charges were made and insults were traded. Scrappy, who was known for being cranky, finally snapped under the strain. Scrappy's admonition, in spite of their harsh verbal exchange, was what? The producers and employees who had seen the situation were shocked to see that this was not just another heated argument, but that the man had overreached himself. His threat of catastrophe was more than just words. His tone was foreboding, and the words themselves left little room for interpretation. This would be the final nail in his coffin in a fit of anger.
He the one who called me out my name, disrespecting me, talking gangster. I never talked gangster. I never threatened him. I don't play no victim. I just don't do all that fake gangster talking and all that. You came at me talking gangster. First of all, if I say anything sick or say anything crazy out my mouth, I got rights.